The glass flew through the air like a purple bird. I watched it happen so slowly, like in a movie. The grape juice splashed all over my beautiful white dress. The one I spent my last $150 on. The one I bought just for today. My granddaughter Skylar stood there holding the empty glass. She was only 8 years old, but the smile on her face wasn't the smile of a sweet little girl. It was mean. It was planned. She knew exactly what she was doing. If this story gives you chills, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe so you never miss what happens next. Trust me, you won't believe where this goes. The whole living room went quiet for 2 seconds. Just 2 tiny seconds. Then everyone started laughing. Not little giggles. Big, loud laughs. Like someone told the funniest joke in the world. "Skylar, you are terrible," my daughter-in-law Tanisha screamed. But she was laughing too. She wasn't mad at all. She looked proud. Like her daughter just won a prize at school. My son Marcus tried to hide his smile behind his hand. But I could see his eyes. They were shining with joy. My own son thought this was funny. All the guests pointed at me. They whispered to each other. They thought I couldn't hear them, but I could. Every single word. "Mommy said you don't belong here," Skylar said in her sweet little voice. The voice adults think is so cute. But I heard what was really in those words. Poison. My heart felt like someone squeezed it with both hands. Tanisha didn't say, "That's not true, honey." She didn't say, "Apologize to Grandma right now." She just kept laughing and cutting more cake. Like ruining an old woman's dress was the best entertainment at a birthday party. I sat in that uncomfortable chair. The juice was cold and sticky on my skin. It soaked through the dress and touched my skin underneath. The purple stains spread like a map showing everyone exactly where I'd been hurt. I had bought this dress with money I needed for other things. Money for food. Money for medicine. But I thought, maybe this time will be different. Maybe they'll finally treat me with respect. How stupid I was. How foolish to believe anything would ever change. My hand started shaking a little bit, but I stood up anyway. I held my head high. I wasn't going to cry. Not here. Not in front of all these people who would go home and tell their friends about the old lady who got grape juice thrown on her. "Aren't you going to say anything, Grandma?" Skylar asked. Her voice sounded so sweet and innocent. But I knew better. Someone had taught her to do this. Someone had told her exactly what to say. I looked at Tanisha. She was still smiling while she cut more cake. She looked so happy with herself, like she had just watched her favorite TV show. "No, sweetie," I said. My voice was so calm it surprised even me. "I don't have anything to say." I walked to the kitchen. I needed to find something to clean myself with. But deep down, I knew the truth. The dress was ruined. My dignity was crushed. My heart was broken again by the people who were supposed to love me. In the kitchen, I found a towel. I got it wet and tried to rub out the purple stains. But grape juice doesn't come out of white fabric. Everyone knows that. Maybe that's why Skylar chose grape juice instead of water or soda. From the living room, I could hear them laughing louder now. Someone turned up the music. Like they were celebrating. Like my pain was the best part of the party. My hands moved back and forth, rubbing and wiping. But my brain was somewhere else. I was thinking about all the times I came to these family parties with hope in my heart. All the times I brought gifts nobody wanted. Food nobody ate. Love nobody cared about. For years, I thought I was the problem. I thought maybe I was too old, too boring, too different from them. Maybe I didn't know how to fit into their modern lives. But standing there in that kitchen with my ruined dress and my broken heart, I finally understood the truth. They didn't want me there. They never did. I was just an obligation. Something they had to deal with because it was the right thing to do. Like taking out the trash or paying bills. I was just another chore on their list. The music got louder. The voices got happier. It was like they could finally relax now that I wasn't in the room. Like the uncomfortable old woman was finally out of sight. Skylar was probably getting high fives for what she did. Tanisha was probably telling the story again and again, making it sound even more dramatic each time. I put the towel down on the counter. I walked to the front door. Nobody noticed when I picked up my purse and keys. Nobody said goodbye when I opened the door. Nobody asked if I needed help or if I was okay. I just walked out, silent as a ghost, with my stained dress and my heart finally clear about what I had to do. The night air was cold on my face when I got outside. My hands shook as I looked for my car keys and my purse. But I wasn't shaking because I was sad. I was shaking because I was awake. For the first time in years, I was finally, truly awake. I got in my car and looked at myself in the mirror. The woman looking back at me had dry eyes. No tears. And I saw something on my face I hadn't seen in a long time. Determination. Cold, hard determination. Like ice in December. This wasn't the first time my family treated me like I was invisible. But as I started driving home to my tiny apartment, I made a promise to myself. It would be the last. Memories started flooding my brain like water bursting through a broken dam. Every single week for the past 5 years had been the same painful pattern. The invitations always came at the last minute. Essie, come over for Sunday dinner. Nothing special, just family. But I knew what just family really meant. I was the filler. The extra person to make the table look less empty. I always brought something I made with my own hands. A dessert that took me hours to bake. An appetizer I saw in a magazine. I spent $30 or $50 each time on ingredients I couldn't really afford. I woke up at 5 in the morning to get everything perfect. And every single time, it was the same. They put my food in the corner of the table. Everyone rushed to eat the main dish someone else brought. This looks so delicious, they'd say about the other food. My container? It came home with me at the end of the night. Almost full. Maybe 1 or 2 servings taken out of politeness. I remembered Marcus's birthday last year. I spent $200 I didn't have on a watch he said he wanted. I took 2 buses downtown to the jewelry store because I couldn't afford a taxi. My feet were swollen and hurting when I got home. But my heart was full of hope. When it was time to open presents, Marcus opened mine last. Like it was homework he had to finish. Thanks, Mom, he mumbled. He didn't even really look at the watch. He just put it on the table and moved on to Tanisha's gift. She bought him a shirt. It cost half of what I spent. But he put it on right away and showed it off to everyone at the party. My watch. Forgotten. Left with the wrapping. Paper and dirty napkins. Like garbage. As I pulled into my apartment parking lot, I sat in the car for a moment. The purple stain on my dress had dried now. It looked like a dark bruise. A reminder of everything that happened tonight. I looked up at my apartment window on the 3rd floor. That small, lonely space where I spent most of my time. Alone. Always alone. But tonight, something was different. Tonight, I wasn't just a sad old woman going home to cry. Tonight, I was a woman who had finally seen the truth. And tomorrow? Tomorrow, everything was going to change. They had no idea what was coming. I didn't sleep that night. Not even for 1 minute. I sat at my small kitchen table with a cup of tea getting cold in front of me. The purple stained dress was in a garbage bag by the door. I would never look at it again. But I wasn't thinking about the dress. I was thinking about everything. Every moment. Every hurt. Every time they made me feel like I was nothing. Skylar's school events were always the worst. I never got a real invitation like the other grandparents. I only found out about them by accident. I'd hear Marcus talking on the phone, and I'd have to ask if I could come. Sure, Mom. You can come if you want, he'd always say. Like it didn't matter either way. I would show up with flowers I bought with my grocery money. I'd sit in the back row while Marcus and Tanisha took the best seats up front. When Skylar performed on stage, I clapped louder than anyone. My heart would feel so big with pride for my only granddaughter. But after? When everyone took family photos, I was always left out. It's just for the parents, Tanisha would say with that fake smile. That smile that never reached her eyes. I'd step aside and watch them pose for picture after picture. They'd post those photos on social media. Hundreds of photos. And in none of them was there any proof that Skylar had a grandmother who loved her more than anything in the world. I took a sip of my cold tea. It tasted bitter, just like the truth. My phone buzzed on the table. A text message at 2 in the morning. I picked it up. It was from my friend Dorothy. She was the only real friend I had left. The only person who actually cared. The message said, "Essie, are you awake? I need to tell you something important. Call me." My hands were shaking as I dialed her number. Dorothy answered on the first ring. "Essie, honey, I'm so glad you called," she said. Her voice sounded worried. "I heard what happened at the party tonight. My niece was there. She told me everything." My throat felt tight. "Dorothy, No," she interrupted. "Let me speak first. I've been your friend for 30 years. I've watched you give and give and give to that family. I've watched them take everything from you and give you nothing back." Tears started forming in my eyes, but I blinked them away. I was done crying. "I know something you don't know," Dorothy continued. "Something about your family. Something they're hiding from you." My heart started beating faster. "What do you mean?" "Marcus and Tanisha are in serious trouble, Essie. Financial trouble. Bad trouble. My niece overheard them talking at the party. They're about to lose everything. Their house. Their cars. All of it." I sat up straighter in my chair. "What?" "They've been living beyond their means for years. Credit cards maxed out. Loans they can't pay back. They're about to hit rock bottom. And you know what the worst part is?" I could barely breathe. "What?" "They were planning to ask you for money. Tonight. At the party. That's why they invited you. But then Skylar did what she did, and they chickened out. They thought you'd still come crawling back next week, and they could ask you then." My entire body went cold. Then hot. Then cold again. All those years. All that disrespect. And they were planning to use me for money? "Dorothy," I said slowly. "How much trouble are they in?" "Tens of thousands of dollars, honey. Maybe more. They need a miracle. Or they need someone to save them." I looked around my tiny apartment. At my old furniture. My small TV. My simple life. I didn't have much. But I had something they didn't know about. Something I'd been saving for years. Something I'd never told anyone about. Not even Dorothy. When my husband died 10 years ago, he left me a life insurance policy. Not a big one. But enough. $50,000. I'd been saving it for emergencies. Living off my small pension and Social Security. Never touching that money. Keeping it safe for when I really needed it. Or for when my family really needed it. I had always planned to give that money to Marcus someday. To help him and Skylar have a better life. To make sure my granddaughter could go to college. To show them that even though I was just an old woman, I could still be useful. Still be valuable. But now? After tonight? Essie. Dorothy's voice brought me back. "Are you still there?" "I'm here," I said. My voice sounded different. Stronger. "Dorothy, I need you to help me with something." "Anything, honey. You know that." "I need the name of a good lawyer. Someone who can help me change some papers. Someone who can do it fast." There was silence on the other end. Then Dorothy spoke, and I could hear the smile in her voice. "Now we're talking. I'll text you a name right now. My cousin Bernard. He's the best. And Essie. Yes. It's about time you stood up for yourself. I'm proud of you." After we hung up, I sat there in the darkness of my kitchen. The city lights outside my window made long shadows on the walls. I thought about Marcus when he was a little boy. How he used to hold my hand when we crossed the street. How he called me Mama in that sweet voice. How he'd run to me when he got hurt, and I'd kiss his scraped knees and make everything better. When did that change? When did I become someone he was ashamed of? Someone he only called when he needed something? I thought about Skylar. That beautiful little girl with her bright eyes and big smile. I remembered when she was born. I was in the hospital room, and when they put her in my arms for the first time, I cried tears of pure joy. "I'll always be here for you," I whispered to baby Skylar that day. "I'll always love you, no matter what." But Tanisha took her from my arms after just 2 minutes. She needs to bond with her parents, she said. Like I was a stranger. Like I was dangerous. From that day on, Tanisha made sure I knew my place. I was the grandmother. Nothing more. I could visit when invited. I could give gifts. But I couldn't be important. I couldn't be special. My phone buzzed again. Dorothy's text with the lawyer's name and number. Bernard Mitchell, attorney at law. He works early, Dorothy wrote. Call him at 7 a.m. He'll see you today. I looked at the clock. It was 2:30 in the morning. In 4.5 hours, I would make the phone call that would change everything. I got up from the table and walked to my bedroom. I opened my closet and pulled out an old shoebox from the top shelf. Inside was a folder with all my important papers. Bank statements. The life insurance papers. My will. My will said that everything I had would go to Marcus when I died. Every single penny. Because he was my son. Because that's what mothers do. I opened the folder and looked at the documents. My hands were steady now. Not shaking at all. By tomorrow night, these papers would say something very different. I thought about calling Marcus right then. Telling him exactly what I thought of him and Tanisha. Telling them they would never see a single dollar from me. That I was done being their doormat. But no. That would be too easy. Too simple. I wanted them to learn. Really learn. Sometimes the best lessons are the ones you don't see coming. The ones that hit you when you're not ready. When you thought everything was fine. Just like that grape juice hit my dress tonight. Unexpected. Staining. Impossible to wash away. I smiled in the darkness of my bedroom. It wasn't a happy smile. It wasn't a sad smile either. It was the smile of someone who had finally found her power. I set my alarm for 6:30 a.m. I needed to be ready for that 7 o'clock call. As I lay down in bed, I thought about what Dorothy said. They were planning to ask you for money tonight. I wondered how they would have done it. Would Marcus have pulled me aside? Would he have used his sweet son voice? The one he used when he wanted something? Mom, I need to talk to you about something important. Would Tanisha have suddenly been nice to me? Complimenting my dress instead of letting Skylar ruin it? Essie, you look so beautiful today. That dress is perfect on you. Would they have made Skylar hug me and say, I love you, Grandma, in front of everyone? It made me sick to think about it. All the fake kindness. All the lies. Just to get my money. Well, they were going to learn something important tomorrow. You can't treat people like garbage and then expect them to save you when you're drowning. I closed my eyes. And for the first time in years, I fell asleep with a smile on my face. Because tomorrow, the family that made fun of me at the party was going to discover what they lost. And nobody imagined what was coming next. I called Bernard Mitchell at exactly 7 a.m. He answered on the second ring. His voice was kind but professional. This is Bernard. Mr. Mitchell, my name is Essie Dupree. Dorothy gave me your number. I need to change my will. Today. Come to my office at 9 a.m., he said without hesitation. Bring all your documents. We'll take care of everything. 2 hours later, I sat in his clean, bright office. The sun came through the windows and made everything look hopeful, like a new beginning. Bernard was a tall man with gray hair and warm eyes. He reminded me of my late husband. He listened to everything. The party, the grape juice, the years of disrespect, the financial trouble Marcus and Tanisha were hiding. He didn't interrupt. He just listened. Really listened. When I finished, he took off his glasses and cleaned them slowly. Mrs. Dupree, he said quietly, I've been a lawyer for 35 years. I've seen many families destroy themselves with greed and disrespect. But I've also seen people like you, people with dignity, take back their power. Are you absolutely sure about this? I looked him straight in the eyes. I've never been more sure about anything in my life. He nodded. Then let's get started. We worked for 3 hours. Signing papers. Making changes. Creating new documents. When we finished, Bernard put all the papers in a folder and handed it to me. It's done, he said. Your will now leaves everything to the Children's Hospital Charity Fund and the local animal shelter. Your son Marcus will receive exactly $1, as required by law to show he wasn't forgotten, just excluded. $1. After everything I sacrificed for him. After all the love I gave. All the times I went without so he could have more. $1 seemed perfect. There's one more thing, Bernard said. He pulled out another paper. I'm giving you my personal cell phone number. If anything happens, and I mean anything, you call me immediately. Day or night. I took the paper and put it in my purse. Thank you, Bernard. You've been very kind. No, Mrs. Dupree. You've been kind. For too long. To people who didn't deserve it. Now go home and live your life in peace. I left his office feeling lighter. Like I'd been carrying heavy rocks in my pockets for years, and I'd finally thrown them all away. I went home and made myself a nice lunch. I watched my favorite TV show. I called Dorothy and told her everything was done. Good, she said firmly. Now you can finally breathe. But I couldn't stop thinking about Marcus and Tanisha, about how they were probably planning right now how to ask me for money, probably practicing what to say. I wondered how long it would take. I didn't have to wonder for long. That evening, my phone rang. It was Marcus. I stared at the phone for 3 rings before answering. My heart was beating fast, but my voice was calm. Hello, Mom. Marcus's voice sounded cheerful. Too cheerful. Fake cheerful. How are you?
I was worried about you.
You left the party so quickly yesterday. I almost laughed. Worried? He didn't even notice when I left. I'm fine, Marcus. Listen, Mom, I feel terrible about what happened with Skylar. Kids, you know? They do crazy things. Tanisha already punished her. Took away her tablet for a whole day. A whole day. For ruining my dress and humiliating me in front of everyone. How generous. That's fine, Marcus. There was a pause. I could hear him breathing. He was nervous. So, Mom, I was wondering if you'd like to come over for dinner tomorrow night. Just us. No party. No guests. Just family. We need to talk about something important. There it was. The trap. The fake kindness. The setup. What do you need to talk about? I asked, keeping my voice neutral. Oh, just family stuff. Nothing bad.
Just want to spend time with you.
We've been so busy lately, you know? We miss you.
Lies.
All lies. I'll think about it, I said. Mom, please. It's really important. Can you come? 7 p.m. tomorrow. I could hear the desperation creeping into his voice. The situation must be worse than Dorothy thought. I said I'll think about it, Marcus. Okay. Just please come. We really need to see you. We hung up. I sat there holding the phone, my hands shaking again. But not from sadness. From anger. He didn't apologize for the party. He didn't ask if I was hurt. He didn't care about my feelings. He only cared about whatever he needed from me. The next day, I didn't call Marcus back. I didn't say if I was coming or not. I just let him wait. Let him worry. At 6:45 p.m., my phone started ringing. Marcus. I didn't answer. At 7 p.m., it rang again. Still Marcus. I let it go to voicemail. At 7:15 p.m., Tanisha called. I watched her name flash on my screen. Didn't answer. At 7:30 p.m., Marcus called again. This time, he left a voicemail. I played it. Mom, where are you? We made dinner. We're waiting. Please call me back. This is really important. Like, really, really important. Mom, please. His voice cracked at the end. He sounded scared.
Good.
At 8 p.m., there was a knock at my door. Hard and urgent. I looked through the peephole. Marcus and Tanisha stood there. Marcus looked terrible. His hair was messy. His eyes were red. Tanisha's face was tight with anger. They knocked again. Harder.
Mom.
We know you're in there. Your car is outside. Please open the door. I stood there, silent. Not moving. Barely breathing. Essie. Tanisha's voice was sharp. We need to talk to you. It's an emergency. Emergency. Now it was an emergency. When they needed something. Mom, please. Marcus sounded like he was crying. We're in serious trouble. We need your help. I closed my eyes. Part of me, the old me, wanted to open that door. Wanted to hug my son and ask what was wrong. Wanted to fix everything like I always did. But the new me, the one who finally saw the truth, she stayed right where she was. They knocked and called for 10 more minutes. Then they finally left. I went in my window and watched them walk to their car. Marcus had his head in his hands. Tanisha was yelling at him, waving her arms around. They got in the car and drove away. My phone buzzed. A text from Marcus. Mom, I don't know why you're doing this. We need you. Please call me. We're about to lose everything. Then another text. The bank is taking our house. We have 30 days. You're the only one who can help us. Then another. Mom, please. I'm begging you. We need $45,000 or we lose everything. I know you have Dad's insurance money. I know you do.
Please.
I'm your son. There it was. The truth. Finally out in the open. They knew about the insurance money. They'd probably known for years. They'd been waiting for the right moment to ask for it. Or maybe they just always assumed it would be there someday. I texted back. I don't know what you're talking about. 3 dots appeared immediately. He was typing fast. Mom, don't lie. I found the papers when I was looking for something in your closet last year. I know you have $50,000. Maybe more by now with interest. We need it.
Please.
We're family. My hands were shaking with rage. He went through my closet? My private things? Without asking? It was the smile of someone who had finally found her power. I set my alarm for 6:30 a.m. I needed to be ready for that 7 o'clock call. As I lay down in bed, I thought about what Dorothy said. They were planning to ask you for money tonight. I wondered how they would have done it. Would Marcus have pulled me aside? Would he have used his sweet son voice? The one he used when he wanted something? Mom, I need to talk to you about something important. Would Tanisha have suddenly been nice to me? Complimenting my dress instead of letting Skylar ruin it? Essie, you look so beautiful today. That dress is perfect on you. Would they have made Skylar hug me and say, I love you, Grandma, in front of everyone? It made me sick to think about it. All the fake kindness. All the lies. Just to get my money. Well, they were going to learn something important tomorrow. You can't treat people like garbage and then expect them to save you when you're drowning. I closed my eyes. And for the first time in years, I fell asleep with a smile on my face. Because tomorrow, the family that made fun of me at the party was going to discover what they lost. And nobody imagined what was coming next. 3 weeks passed. 3 long, quiet weeks. I didn't hear from Marcus. I didn't hear from Tanisha. I didn't hear from anyone in the family. Dorothy called me every few days to check on me. How are you holding up, honey? I'm okay, I told her. And I was. I really was. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about Skylar. That little girl with her bright eyes. My only granddaughter. The child I thought I'd watch grow up. At night, I'd wonder what she was doing. If she was okay.
If she ever asked about me.
But I didn't call. I didn't text. I kept my promise to myself. I was done being treated like garbage. On the 22nd day, Dorothy called me with news. Essie, you need to sit down, she said. Her voice sounded strange. What happened? Marcus and Tanisha lost the house. They had to move in with Tanisha's mother. And Essie, there's more. My heart started beating faster. What? Tanisha's mother is furious with them. She found out they spent thousands of dollars on clothes, cars, and parties while they couldn't even pay their mortgage. She's making them work to pay her rent. Marcus had to get a second job. Tanisha had to sell her fancy car. I didn't say anything. I just listened. But here's the thing, Dorothy continued. Skylar is asking about you. Every single day. She wants to know where Grandma Essie is. Why you don't visit anymore. My throat felt tight. What do they tell her? At first, they told her you were busy. But Skylar's not stupid, Essie. She knows something's wrong. She's been crying. She told her teacher at school that she misses her grandma. I closed my eyes. A tear rolled down my cheek. Tanisha's mother found out what happened at the party, Dorothy said. About the grape juice. About how they all laughed at you. She told me herself she's ashamed of them. She wants to call you and apologize. She didn't do anything wrong, I said quietly. No, but her daughter did. And she raised her daughter better than that. After we hung up, I sat in my quiet apartment for a long time. Just thinking. Just feeling. Part of me felt satisfied. They were learning their lesson. They were facing the consequences of their choices. But another part of me, the grandmother part, felt pain. Because Skylar was hurting. And she was just a child. A child who'd been taught the wrong things by the wrong people. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept seeing Skylar's face. Not the mean smile when she threw the juice, but her face when she was a baby. When she was innocent and pure and hadn't learned to be cruel yet. At 2 a.m., my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. But something made me pick up. Hello. Heavy breathing. Then a small voice. Grandma Essie? My heart stopped. Skylar. Grandma, please don't be mad at me. She was crying. Really crying. I'm sorry I threw juice on your dress. I'm sorry I was mean. Mommy told me to do it. She said it would be funny. But it wasn't funny. It was bad. And now everything is bad, and it's all my fault. Tears poured down my face. Sweetie, it's not your fault. Yes it is, she sobbed. We lost our house because I was bad to you. Daddy said we needed your help, but you won't help us because I was mean. I'm sorry, Grandma.
I'm so sorry.
My heart was breaking into 1,000 pieces. Skylar, baby, listen to me. You didn't make them lose the house. That happened because your parents made bad choices with money. That's not your fault. Do you understand? But Mommy said. What did Mommy say? Silence. Then, she said you're a mean old lady who doesn't care about us. That you have lots of money, but you're too selfish to help your family. That you want us to be homeless and sad. I took a deep breath. The anger came back, hot and fierce. They were blaming me to their daughter, making me the villain, teaching her that asking for help meant demanding someone else's money, that family meant being able to use people. Skylar, I said carefully. Did your mommy and daddy ever teach you that it's wrong to be mean to people? Yes. And did they teach you that if you're mean to someone, that person might not want to be around you anymore? A pause. Yes. Well, that's what happened, sweetie. Your parents and you were mean to me. Not just once. Not just at the party. For years and years. And I finally decided I didn't want to be around people who treated me badly anymore. Even if those people were my family. But we need you, Grandma.
No, baby.
You don't need me. You need money. And those are two different things. She was quiet for a long moment. Then, I really do miss you though. Not just because of money. I miss you. Those words hit me like a wave. Skylar, whose phone are you calling from? My friend Hannah's phone. I'm sleeping over at her house. Mommy and Daddy don't know I'm calling you. Does Hannah's mommy know?
No.
Everyone's sleeping. I snuck into the bathroom. Smart girl. Too smart for her own good sometimes. Skylar, I need you to listen to me very carefully. Are you listening? Yes, Grandma. I love you. I will always love you. But your parents need to learn that they can't treat people badly and then expect those people to save them when they're in trouble. Do you understand? I think so.
Good.
Now, I want you to remember something. You are not responsible for fixing your parents' problems. You're 8 years old. You should be playing and learning and being a kid, not worrying about houses and money. Okay. And Skylar? One more thing. Being mean to people has consequences. Real consequences. Not just punishment for a day, but consequences that last a long time. I want you to remember that. I will, Grandma. I promise.
Good.
Now go back to bed before you get in trouble. And Skylar? Yes. Maybe someday when you're older, when you really understand why what happened was wrong, maybe we can see each other again. But not now. Not while your parents are teaching you the wrong things. Okay, she whispered. I love you, Grandma Essie. I love you too, baby. So much. The line went dead. I sat there in the darkness, crying harder than I'd cried in years. But these weren't tears of sadness or anger anymore. They were tears of hope.
Because Skylar called me.
Not because her parents told her to. Not because she wanted something. But because she missed me. The real me. The next morning, I got a call from Tanisha's mother. Her name was Carol. Mrs. Dupree? Her voice was kind. I hope you don't mind me calling. Dorothy gave me your number. I'm Tanisha's mother. Hello, Carol. I need to apologize to you. For my daughter's behavior. For how your son treated you. For everything. I raised Tanisha better than this. I don't know where I went. Wrong. You didn't go wrong, Carol. People make their own choices. That's kind of you to say. But I feel responsible. I've had long talks with Tanisha and Marcus. They're living in my house now, and I've laid down some rules. No more fancy spending. No more parties. They both have jobs. They're learning to live within their means. That's good. But Mrs. Dupree, Essie, there's something I need to tell you. Something they didn't tell you. My stomach tightened. What? When they lost the house, they also lost Skylar's college fund. They've been borrowing from it for years to pay for their lifestyle. There's nothing left. That child has no money for her future. I felt like someone punched me in the chest. They took their daughter's college money? Every penny. And now they're trying to figure out how to rebuild it. But with their debt, it'll take years. Maybe decades. Skylar might never get to go to college. I stood up and walked to my window, looked out at the city, at all the buildings and cars, and people living their lives. Skylar. Sweet, confused, manipulated Skylar. Who threw juice on my dress because her mother told her it would be funny. Who apologized in tears because she thought it was her fault. That little girl didn't deserve to have her future stolen. Carol, I said slowly. Thank you for telling me. And thank you for trying to fix your daughter's mistakes. It's the least I can do.
And Essie?
If you ever want to see Skylar without Marcus and Tanisha around, I can arrange that. She asks about you every single day. I'll think about it, I said. But not yet. Not while they're still teaching her the wrong lessons. After we hung up, I sat down at my kitchen table and pulled out the folder Bernard Mitchell had given me. My new will. The one that left everything to charity. I stared at it for a long time. Then I picked up the phone and called Bernard. Mrs. Dupree, he answered warmly. How are you? Bernard, I need to make one more change to my will. Of course. What would you like to change? I want to set up a trust fund. For my granddaughter, Skylar. She can access it when she turns 18. For college only. Her parents can't touch it. Nobody can touch it except her. There was a pause. Then, how much do you want to put in the trust? I thought about the insurance money. The $50,000 I'd been saving. The money Marcus thought he was entitled to. $20,000, I said. The rest still goes to charity. But Skylar gets $20,000 for her education. Only education. Nothing else. That's very generous, Essie. Especially after everything that happened. She's just a child, Bernard. She doesn't deserve to suffer because her parents are fools. I'll draw up the papers today. You can come sign them tomorrow. Thank you. The next day, I signed the new papers. The trust was set. Skylar would have money for college. But Marcus and Tanisha would never know about it. Not until Skylar turned 18 and the trust activated. By then, maybe she'd be old enough to understand. To see clearly what her parents were. To make better choices. I went home and made myself dinner. Watched TV. Read a book. And for the first time in years, I felt at peace. Not because I'd gotten revenge. Not because my family was suffering. But because I'd finally learned the most important lesson of all. You can't let people treat you badly just because they're family. Blood doesn't give anyone the right to disrespect you,
To use you.
to throw grape juice on your dress and laugh while your heart breaks. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is to walk away, to say no, to protect your own peace. And sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone else is to let them face their consequences. Because that's how people learn. That's how they grow. Marcus and Tanisha lost their house. They lost their lifestyle. They lost their pride. But maybe, just maybe, they'd learn something from it. Maybe they'd become better people, better parents. And if they didn't, well, that wasn't my problem anymore. I'd done my part. I'd loved them. I'd given them everything. And when they threw it back in my face, I'd walked away with my head held high. At the party, everyone made fun of me. They laughed at the purple stain on my white dress. They thought I was weak, pathetic, someone they could use and discard. That night, the whole family lost everything. Their house, their pride, their scapegoat. And nobody imagined that the quiet old woman with grape juice on her dress would be the one to teach them the hardest lesson of their lives. Sometimes the people you think are weak are actually the strongest. And sometimes, the best revenge is simply refusing to be someone's doormat anymore. I looked at myself in the mirror that night before bed. The woman staring back at me wasn't broken. She wasn't sad. She was free. And that was worth more than any amount of money in the world. If this story touched your heart or taught you something about self-respect and boundaries, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this message, and subscribe for more powerful stories about standing up for yourself. Remember, you deserve to be treated with respect, no matter who you are. Never let anyone make you feel small. Thank you for listening to Essie's story.